Assalamualaikum dear students, welcome to NIEVS Homeschool. I am Farhana Yasmin, assistant teacher of morning shift. Today I am going to take a computer class for class 4. Our today's topic is chapter 1 and we will read from page 4 and 5. We will continue with chapter 1, the computer system today. So let's look at page 4 first. How does a computer work? You may want your computer to do different things at different times. You have to tell the computer what to do. You have to give instructions to your computer. In the earlier lesson, we read that you have to tell a computer what to do. A computer doesn't have a fixed function and it can do many works. It can do several functions. Its function is not fixed. So let's see. A machine like a refrigerator does a fixed function. You keep fruits in it. Fruits is the input you give to a refrigerator. The refrigerator cools the fruits. We say that cooling is the process that the refrigerator does. The result is cold fruit. Cold fruit is the output you get from this process. So all machines have a process to work. The process of the refrigerator is keeping fruits inside it. Then it cools the fruits inside it and then you can get the cooled fruits from inside it. So what you keep inside it can be called the input and the process of cooling can be called the process that the refrigerator does. And then you get cold fruits from the refrigerator. It can be called the output that you get after this process. So the function of a refrigerator can be given as follows. Input, process, output. Input is the food inside it, process is the cooling process, and the output is cold food that we get in the end. In the same way, computers perform their functions in 3 steps. A computer may be a different machine, but a computer also has a process of doing things. A computer also performs its functions in 3 steps like this. Suppose you want the computer to add 2 numbers, 3 and 6. The 3 steps are as follows. So let's see how the computer will perform the functions. Step 1. Input. Give the computer the required information. That is the numbers 3 and 6 to be added. This information is called data. So at first, our input is the required information. We want to add 3 and 6. So we have to give the computer the information, which are the numbers 3 and 6. The numbers we want to be added. And this information is called data. Next, give the computer instructions to add. Our data is the numbers 3 and 6, but then we have to give the instructions for them to be added. Your instructions tell the computer what to do with the numbers. Any instruction that you give to the computer is called a command. So, in our input step, we have to give the data and then give the computer instructions, and that instructions is called command. The information and instructions together is the input to the computer. So, the things we're doing here, this is called the input to the computer. We tell the computer the data and give the instructions that they are to be added. You give the input to the computer by typing it on the keyboard. Before you saw the parts of a computer, you saw the keyboard in the previous lesson. In the keyboard, we can type the numbers. That is why a keyboard is called an input device. Using the keyboard, we are giving input of our data. So this is called an input device. Let's go to the next page. Step 2. Process. The computer works on the data according to your instructions. This is called processing the data. Let's see, the computer works on the data according to your instructions, and this is called processing the data. We have given the data and we have told the computer the instructions of what to do, addition, and this is called processing the data. The processing is carried out in the central processing unit or CPU. So the actual process of addition is done in the CPU. The process is done inside the CPU and you can see it in the monitor. Look at the picture. You are typing the input in the keyboard, 3 plus 6. You are typing it here. The CPU is processing it, 3 plus 6 equal to 9. And you can see the output in the monitor. 3 plus 6 equals to 9 is shown in the monitor. The input is given through the keyboard, the processing is being done inside the CPU and the output is shown in the monitor. Step 3, output. The computer gives the result as 9. This result is the output. It gets displayed on the monitor as seen in the picture. That is why the monitor is called an output device. As the output can be seen through the monitor, it is called an output device. The result displayed on the screen of the monitor is known as the soft copy of the output. The result printed on paper using a printer is known as the hard copy of the output. So while it's still inside the computer, it's called a soft copy, and if you print it out on a paper, then it's called a hard copy because we can touch it, it's a physical copy. And the copy inside the computer can be touched. So this is called the soft copy. Next section, a computer can store data and instructions. You can store data and instructions inside a computer. Look at the picture. A girl is using, she is typing it, and look what's written in the CPU, data store. So what she is typing can be stored inside the CPU. You store fruits in a refrigerator so that you can eat them when you want. Similarly, a computer stores data and your instructions. You can use the stored data and instructions whenever you want. So just like your refrigerator stores your food, a computer stores your data and your instructions. You can get the food out of refrigerator and you can also use your stored data instructions from the computer whenever you want. The input that you give to a computer is stored in it. The output is also stored. So the input and the output that's being given to the computer, both are stored inside the computer. A computer can store a large amount of data. A computer can store a large amount of data. This increases the usefulness of the computer. Because it can store a large amount of data, it is very useful. For example, it can store the matter contained in large dictionaries. Okay, a large dictionary will be very heavy and big, but inside a computer it can be stored very easily. This will help you find meanings of words anytime you want. You can also find the meanings very easily in the computer. If a dictionary is in your computer, you can find the words very easily. The data and instructions in the computer can be stored in different kinds of devices. So, for storing, there are different kinds of devices, such as hard disk, flash drive, CD-ROM and DVD-ROM. A hard disk is kept inside the CPU, okay? You can't see it from outside of the casing, it's inside. Flash drive, CD-ROM and DVD-ROM, you can see these drives here. You can insert disks here and store or read from them. These devices are called storage devices. So all these devices which are used for storing information or data and instruction, these are called storage devices. Okay everyone, let's move on to the homework for this class. Chapter 1, the computer system. A question and the answer. Question number 1. What is a computer? An answer is given for you. Answer: a computer is a smart machine. It is different from other machines because it can perform several functions. It works on electricity or batteries. Read with me again, students. Question number 1. What is a computer? Answer: a computer is a smart machine. It is different from other machines because it can perform several functions. It works on electricity or batteries. Okay, dear students, the homework is very easy. I hope you do it well and read the chapter on your own again and submit your homework on due time on Saturday. Hope you all stay well. Allah Hafiz.